If you could tell, hot
Is it
shingles
this?
in your area looking to get nailed.
Roofers, they're the best.
Yeah, they get it. That guy gets it.
Hello and welcome to another Woodshop
They always
podcast
drive the nicest
with Mike
trucks.
Coffey of Coffee Custom Builds,
I don't know why that is.
Daniel
Gotta
Dunlap
make
of
good
Daniel
money.
Dunlap Woodworks, and Peter Kapar of Petrie's Workshop.
All the liability
You
insurance.
can find us all
They
as
work on a
well as the
different
podcast on Instagram and YouTube.
Welcome to episode 143 of another Woodshop podcast, your favorite dating show. Let's get to know our bachelors. Bachelor number one is a corn-fed good old Nebraska boy, and the only reason why the Chelada Corporation is still in business, it's Daniel Dunlap Esquire.
Yay!
Bachelor number two left his biker gang after he discovered the first ever coffee table, and now he's famous. He's America's sweetheart, Michael Coffey. And straight from his European tour and famous for his work with He's Without Borders, Bachelor number three, Peter Kapar. Now, our co-host and host, Michael Coffey, can you tell us what lucky patrons may win a date with one of us?
What?
Now he talks about patrons.
Well, I got some great news for you because it's none of them. No, big thanks to our patrons. They are the best. For some reason, the Patreon page is freezing up on me right now. But we did get a new patron this week, and it is a VIP patron named Daniel Bryson. Thank you to Daniel for being a, what did you call him, Pete? A major in the army?
Yeah, as a sergeant major.
Look, his name is Daniel. He can't be a bad guy. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, or a madmiral.
Doesn't
I don't know. Sergeant major
a
sounds better.
madmiral?
I did not like
Did
that.
you guys like the
Oh
dating
my
show
gosh.
intro? Sorry, I was gonna get little music to play, but then I realized Mike's
That's
sharing
good.
the audio.
Eh,
Oh shoot! If you had some, that would have been good. You should have
That
some.
would've been
That
good.
would have been solid.
I
Little
think
silly
you've
music.
you've done better.
Well, hey,
Also, Dan, I made you a lawyer. Did you not
You-
notice I said Daniel
Wow.
Dunlap Esquire?
I anal.
All right, back to you,
Okay.
Mike.
big thanks to our VIP patrons. Right out of that segue, really great. Alex Kopachans, Bill Birkle, Daniel Bryson, Jacob Miller, Jake Coneen, Justin from Calvary Customs, Christian Tung, Malcolm from Bossa Nova Woodworks, Michael
He's in the middle of
Flickinger,
things.
Michael Lydon, Scott Holland, Square Splinter, and Tim from Lock City. That VIP list is getting pretty long.
I love it.
Big thanks to you guys.
I cannot wait
I
to
am very-
pay back our patrons with my tongue by talking to them at WorkbenchCon.
Oh,
gonna be great.
Oh, jeez.
Oh man.
But it's sorry, did I get too technical with you,
My
Dan?
heart palpitated.
Just excited to.
I just got
to
like a
meet
migraine.
Some of them in person.
Oh,
We're coming in hot.
my legs hurt.
It is the 1st of February. You know what that means? I was hoping one of you would just yes and think of something. I got nothing.
It's not the 1st of February. It's the 2nd.
First episode of February.
Okay.
I wrote it down.
It's
All
the
I'll
first
stop.
episode after the 1st of February.
It's Groundhog Day, right?
Oh, is it?
Is it?
Yeah, it's Groundhog Day, February 2nd.
Is that why it feels like we do this every day?
Punks and Tawny Phil. I don't know what the shadow update is. I'm not that big of a follower.
I could look it up while you give us the history. Go.
I don't get my weather from a rodent, but I think that day's fun.
Yeah, I do. Watch the weather channel. It's full of rats.
Okay.
Not too soon.
Well, I think this is off to a weird start, huh?
It really is.
Well, we're
It's
trying
really
something
going
new.
down.
We're
It's
not
not-
doing guests, so
does
we're just
anyone-
going to do dumb stuff now, right?
This is what
Does
you get
anyone
when you don't get a
remember-
guess.
Does anyone remember what we do now? I don't know what the show is now. I think I pushed this button, I guess.
What's on my bench?
Do you want to do what's on our bench since I pushed the button?
I'm going to write down 9:55 for what's on our bench, but we've only been doing this for about 30 seconds. Not that has anything to do with anything. Go on.
I'm going to throw it right to you, Dan. I want to know what's going on this week.
You guys. Same old. Lots of Etsy orders. I know. Like I say that every week. I
Slow down,
I really feel bad.
Etsy?
Yes.
Okay.
Etsy. ETSY. I do feel bad that I say the same thing every week, but I don't think y'all understand how many Etsy orders I do every week.
Goodness.
It's kind of nuts. So yeah, I usually spend several hours a week doing that. It's getting ridiculous. I also did take on a new commission for another farmhouse table. I think I mentioned that last week. I got the legs in from Osborne Wood Co. They were my dog is whining at me. They were kind enough to work with me. I reached out to them and asked if they had any coupon codes, and we just kind of started conversation from there. So I will be working with them on this project. I'm pretty excited about it. The client is going to their old family farmstead.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a word? The farm?
Yeah.
Farms?
Homestead farm.
Oh, yeah, it's like a farm. Apparently there's a bunch of wood in a barn that they want to make this table out of. So
some old.
But they had a very specific look for the legs.
This is the farm table, right?
Yeah.
Yes, they had a very specific look for the legs. So I got the legs from Osborne Wood Co. But I can't start it until they bring the wood back from their family farm, which should be early next week. We'll see.
You don't know what it is yet? What the wood is?
Man, I don't.
Fine, huh?
I don't. I really hope it's nothing like. I hope it's not trash. I really don't.
How far is this farm, by the way?
It's about 4 hours from where I'm at.
Oh, never mind. Okay, I was gonna say because like if you could drive there or like FaceTime with someone to like pick through it, because they could be like, oh, this looks dirty, and they like move walnut out of the way,
right?
And then they could just, oh, this is nice and light.
I'm just crossing my fingers that everything is good. You know, I will take, even if it's pine, if it's old growth pine, that would still be like pretty nice. Obviously it won't hold up as well as like a nice hardwood.
It's nice and thick too, because
anyway,
if they just gave you like all different thicknesses, it would be kind of annoying too.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah,
hopefully at least it's consistent in thickness. Thickness.
If they don't provide you with enough material.
Speaking of thickness, this is a complete tangent, but you know, Sean Boyd's back to his own channel now. He split from Four Eyes.
Yeah, I saw that. It wasn't
an issue. It's because his wife got a different job or something like that. No, it is not bad. It's like he's got to move away, like physically move to another place.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So they're like, why?
It was amicable.
They just did it right away. Yeah, it was amicable. Yeah, it wasn't bad. No. I'm honestly like really excited that he's going to be doing this. Totally sorry to take away from what's on my bench, but I'm really excited he's going to be back to his own channel. I mean, I'm like,
screw me. Let's talk about Sean Boyd.
I was watching Four Eyes video on the offcut table, and he was pointing out his other project, and I was like, oh, I didn't realize that he had a separate channel. So
yeah,
that was fun.
That's where he started.
I know, and I just never was following it, and I am now. Dan, anyways, how are you in YouTube? How's your YouTube? What's going on,
bro? The bed instruction video,
it's killing it.
It's up to like 2 million views.
Yeah, divided by what?
Divided by
it's 700 something. I checked.
2 million divided by 1.95 million. It's not
doing better than it should. It's actually not bad.
Yeah, YouTube. I'd like to get back to that someday.
Wood.
So I'm also working on 3 of those sectional slide tables, those little C tables that I make with box joints. I have a CNC program where I cut those out 100% on the CNC now because I'm lazy, but it's also faster. So that's nice. I created a file for them that I could manipulate, and the proportions always kind of stay the same, so the fingers always work.
Right.
It's so nice. It's so nice. I just glue up panels, sand them through the drum sander, and just put them up on the CNC and cut them out. It's very nice. I sold 3 of those last week.
Wait, what is this again? Sorry, I missed that part because my cat was
slide tables, those little sectional C tables.
Nice.
From one of my past viral videos.
I didn't realize you were doing them on a CNC now. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I do everything on the CNC when I can.
Right.
Yeah, and then this weekend's supposed to be pretty nice weather-wise, so I think I may do like a deep clean of my shop. It needs it desperately. And if the weather's going to be nice, I can actually have both the doors open, not freeze my cat butthole off, and move some stuff out into the driveway and just kind of blow everything out and reorganize. So that's what I'm up to.
You're also planning a little remodel of your office setup. You're not going to the basement anymore, right?
We'll get into that.
Talk about that.
We'll get into that in the future. And yeah, it's just a thought right now. It's a
Your
mere
thought.
whisper of an idea.
You literally had a whole plan in a pre-show, post-pre-show, pre-real show. You
Yeah,
were
but,
like
I'm
giving a
just
whole
gonna
layout.
I'm gonna switch sides of my living. So like we've talked about in the past how I have like several living rooms in this house. This is living room number 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Right here.
Conference room A and B.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to switch to the back of the room here, kind of flip flop, back on the other side of the room. I know this isn't a podcast and it's not audio and whatever, but back on the other side to my back, on the very other end of the room, there's a shelf system, like a built-in cubby hole with like 3 or 4 shelves, and I think I'm going to switch sides and move over there and have my shipping department over there and my podcast desk and what have you over there. So I'll get into that whenever it gets closer and whenever it becomes
I can't wait to see it.
whenever it comes to fruition,
sick.
because it could be 2-3 years from now.
I think you should Don Draper that whole thing. Like just desk in the center, take one of the couches, set it up in the middle, and then just shout from your desk, Kayla!
Gelada!
Get me coffee on the phone. She's not even home.
Anyway, speaking of coffee, what's up with you?
Oh, let me look at my pictures because I can't remember anything ever. We finished the farmhouse table today. So the customer
Another
wanted a
one?
black base.
Another one.
No, the one I sent you the pictures of today or yesterday or something.
Yeah, Mike,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
doing this for the podcast.
Oh, and another one. Yeah, another nonstop. No, they wanted black base with a white top, and I was like, yeah, whatever you want. Sounds horrible to me, but whatever you want. It looks dope. Like it looks legitimately
sexy.
very good. Like I really like it a lot.
I don't know if you remember, but you sent us pictures.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
I don't think so. I don't think that
Yeah.
happened.
I was
No,
there too.
but it looks really great. I did Rubio white on ash, and I did Rubio's intense black pre-color on ash, and then the Rubio black over that.
Why did
Looks
you
a
do
lot
the
of colors
double?
on ash.
Was it intentional to just get a darker?
Rubio black is not very dark.
No, it's
Oh,
not
really?
The
actually.
Rubio black is not very
Oh.
dark. It's not. No, it'll just mostly fill in the
The grain
fill
pockets.
in the grain. Yeah, it like won't like actually. It'll go like a light charcoal. It won't go very
It's
dark.
not a
It'll almost
stain.
look like a smoke. It's not a
Yeah.
stain. Yeah, the pre-color, the intense black is a stain.
Genuine.
So,
wait, sorry to interrupt, but genuine question about the like kind of mix and finishes. What if you had done, let's say, India ink on it because that's shellac based? Would you be able to do pure over that after it cures? Would it work?
I actually don't know. I think the answer you would get would be no, because
I wanna
your
say no as
shellac
well,
will be
but-
covering the
Right.
grain. But I do know that you can use the Rubio's pre-color. They're just stains. They're just water-based stains, and you can
Mhm.
put any top coat over that. It
Oh,
works
okay.
great.
But you could do an
So
India
they're
ink
wa-
and
they're-
do like a water-based top coat if you wanted.
A water based.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
that's good to know.
I
Yeah.
actually
because I spray
I
lacquer,
made-
like
I
an
actually
extra little bit of
made-
lacquer on there or something. What's up, Mike?
Yeah, lacquer's great. I'm making samples right now. So my grounding box, the reference box customer, we've got the normal like 19 by 17 size. He's releasing 2 new sizes, a 12 by 12, like an entry level. So there's gonna be a flagship, and there's gonna be this entry level. It's gonna be called the MIDI reference. And then there's then the other one's the ultimate reference. And then we're making another one that's a 16 by 24 size. That's actually technically a little bigger than the flagship, but it's actually individual channels. So it'd be a left and a right. So like you need 2 of them. It's
2 of them,
crazy.
and then
It's
you
like
put
for people
speakers
with
on
more
top.
money.
You said right?
Yes, exactly. So the speaker, you could put audio equipment on top of it. So anyway, those are going to go. We're starting on those. We're also going to start doing those in black as well. So we're going to have English walnut, and then we're going to have a black. So I actually, it's funny you asked that, because I did samples today where it's going to be, I did general finishes, black gel stain on one. I did Rubio's intense black pre-color, and then I did India ink on one. Honestly, the India ink looks the best. So I did that tabletop. Oh no, I did Victory over the top, where it's this water-based
Okay.
high
Because you have to
gloss,
get.
like,
Are you still
instrument.
doing like a instrument grade, super shiny?
Yeah, the
finish
high
on
gloss
black?
finish is getting. Yeah, the gloss finish is going over the top of that. It looks
What-
fantastic. I'll send
What
you
wood did you use? Poplar for this high-end audio
English
equipment?
walnut. Yeah,
You-
English walnut.
you-
It's all English.
He's hid all that walnut. At this point, to him, that's throwaway.
No. We want the grain, or he wants that grain. So it's black, but we don't do any treatment to hide the grain, so you can see the grain underneath the black. So you're seeing that grain still. I wouldn't do it, but I'm not buying these, nor am I the customer. So
I wouldn't do it either.
Moving forward, we'll probably move to like a beach or something. I don't know. We'll figure that out later. But
poplar.
I'm trying to imagine like a grand piano, but it has wood grain for the body. It would look actually kind of cool. Like just a shiny.
Yeah, that's exactly
shiny, but
what
like
you'd be looking
actual
at.
wood grain. It'd be cool.
MDF.
So
I am.
End grain MDF. Let's go. That's
cool. So we're doing the grounding boxes right now. We've got the lawyer's desk that's been in my shop for way too long.
I thought you delivered that a long time ago.
We were supposed to, but the storms actually, she had a ton of water damage in her offices. So they just got it finished. It was supposed to be done last week. We were going to deliver. And then this week, we're actually delivering tomorrow. So we're delivering in the morning, which will be nice. So I did something for the first time with Rubio, and this isn't meant to be like a big Rubio push, but I did. I've done this before, but I haven't done this as like on purpose. I've used their maintenance oil in the past to refresh a piece, but I've never done the pure 2C and then waited 24 hours and done the maintenance oil. That finish with the maintenance oil is incredible. Like, I think moving forward, that's how we're going to do all of our walnut pieces.
I use it on a test piece. I actually really liked it too. I thought it was kind of
the sheen.
You get a better sheen, right?
Yeah, you get a little higher sheen. It looks looks so nice. So anyway, we did that on there. It looks amazing.
So instead of
I can't wait to deliver that.
Charlie Sheen, you get Martin Sheen.
Right. You get a little more educated, a little more knowledgeable Sheen. Has a little more years under its belt. Yeah, the better Sheen. Charlie Sheen is the worst.
Sheen's still a Sheen.
Yeah, so that's done. What else we got? Oh, we're working on this big giant countertop. It's like 55 inches wide by 123 inches long. It's got a sink cut out, and then I've got this bathroom vanity. I've got to order up all the material for that. I did this job walk for this potential client. It looks like probably need the job. These people need an absolute ton of stuff done in their brand new home. This house overlooks Folsom Lake. I mean, this house is north of $5 million home. It's this beautiful home. They need a ton of stuff. Like I'm refreshing 2 tables. I'm refreshing them. It's like 8 different built-ins and then a bunch of shelves. It's all kinds of stuff. So it's going to be a crazy big job. I'll probably be working there through the rest of the year. And it's, off and on while projects going on there for a while. So stuff like that.
I mean, you're not that far off from sending Jackson to college. So, hey.
Right. Might as well lock him up.
It's going to blink and it's going to be there.
I tried this new 2K urethane today. It's a 2-part. It's a 10-to-1 2-part from Diamond Vogel. I am incredibly impressed with this finish. It is wild. It is so, I can spray. It's 15 minutes between coats. You definitely need to wear PPE for this. It is very caustic. It's a water-based acrylic, but the resins are so strong. You can just smell that it's like a really strong finish.
Can you send us some updated photos or videos? Because the one you sent, it looked super glossy and nice, but it looked like almost wavy on there. I don't know if it was the grain or whatever.
That's from it leveling. It hadn't leveled yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I would have sent you that picture 2 minutes later, it wouldn't have the leveling anymore. So the leveling agent is the really smelly stuff. Yeah, I'll send it to you tomorrow. It looks amazing. And then I don't know if last week. No, I didn't. So I got that new trailer. I picked up it was 2 logs of Douglas fir. I've talked about this project before.
There was a lot of slabs on that trailer in your story.
Yeah, it was 23 slabs or something like that, and they're all between 8 and 10 foot long, and it was Doug fir that's all 42-inch wide. I mean, it was big, and it's so tight. The grain, it's like probably a 200-year-old tree. The grain is like, 30 seconds of an inch apart from each other.
Let me ask you this: how did you pull that with your Subaru?
I'll tell you what. I had them put the 7.3 liter Godzilla Ford motor in my Subaru.
You got the all-wheel drive package with the
real man. No. I've never been excited about working with Doug fir, and I'm very excited about working with this.
Old
It is
growth
beautiful.
Douglas fir is
old,
solid.
it's
so dense,
super high.
It's nice.
Like it's very nice. So that stuff will probably be took that down to the kiln. That stuff will probably be dry in about 4 months, I would imagine. Probably about 2-3 months of air drying, and then about a month in the kiln, and then we'll be ready to start rocking and rolling on projects with him. So they're hoping for sooner. That's probably not going to happen. So I got a long list of stuff, guys. Is that okay if I go like deep dive? Is that cool?
This is every week thing.
Rapid fire.
I broke up my wet sharpener, did a bunch of chisel and blade maintenance this week. It's been really, honestly, super relaxing to be able to sit down and do that. I made a proposal to Sacramento Tree Foundation. Urban Wood Rescue they own Urban Wood Rescue. They accepted my proposal. We're doing all their slab flattening now, which is awesome.
You mentioned
I'm
that
really
last
excited
week,
about that. Yeah. So we're going to start doing that. I got my chairs out. They're at a couple brick and mortar locations, which is cool.
Nice.
I really love this chair design. I am changing the seat. The gooch shelf, as I called it, is a little uncomfortable when you're
getting lowered.
It's being eliminated to a very tiny little nub. So
I saw that and I was like, you know what? It still looks comfy, but I feel like
sitting straight on it. It's leaning forward, sitting straight forward. Amazing. It's such a comfort. It feels nice. Turn your body a little bit.
Oh,
you want to call the cops?
I was going to say
because call the cops.
So
I thought it was like a user to
Can
user.
you imagine a bar patron sitting at a bar on one of these stools, having a great time, and they just turn and be like, "That's it. I'm calling the cops. This is.
I'm out. I'm out of here. This is too much." Oh my gosh. Anyways, so yeah, that's what I got going on. Pete, what about you?
Yo, so you'll never believe this. Etsy orders. None of them bow ties. Now Etsy's been actually picking up. It's been consistent. I like it. But I like it. I got my booster on Sunday, and I was like, I don't know, I kind of feel weird. And I'm
polio booster?
The polio booster. Yep, the Moderna polio booster. So I needed to get my 5G updated, and I never got Moderna before. I got the other flavor, Pfizer, and I was out for like 2.5 days. I was shot. I was literally shaking. Guys were laughing because I was like, I woke up Emma because I was literally shaking, like vibrating to bed. And but
that's right.
No, don't stop.
Family show.
No, don't stop.
But then, like 2 hours
Pete,
later,
can
I'd
you
wake
get
up.
that? Pete, could you get that shot again by any chance? We just want to make sure you don't catch it.
Moderna.
The Moderna.
All right, stop. She listens to this. Oh God, I love you, honey. Yes, my wife actually listens to every episode. I hear it in the house all the time. So just be warned. Yeah. So I was kind of out. I was gonna wrap up the ice climbing stuff earlier in the week. I was basically out of the shop. I couldn't function. I was barely sleeping, and I was either getting night sweats or shakes or whatever for like 2.5 days. So
the Harlem Shakes?
It was rough. Yes, you know about them. Okay,
I get
cool.
you.
Yeah. So I don't have to show the video. Cool. So that was that. Aside from that, so I'm wrapping up the ice climbing stuff. I have about less than 10 pairs. I think of like 7 or 8 pairs. So that's 14 because it's a pair. I have about 14 to finish up and laser, and then they're ready for delivery. So they're gonna be out of my shop. I had a busy day today. I had 2 people come by the shop, buy some old tools that I was just selling off, some old pipe clamps, which I know are Mike's favorites now. He was saying last week, but I just got rid of those, got rid of a couple other tools, and had a friend of mine stop by. Actually, a friend of mine, first time meeting him, but a friend of mine because I've known him for a while, and I worked with his brother. He does a lot of shows and craft shows and things like that, where he makes sublimation, and he actually, this is his full-time business. He goes to shows, and his Etsy and his website is like full-time gig, and he lives off that, and he's doing well. So Matt was here, and
drives a Corvette. He's doing just fine.
He's driving a Toyota 4Runner with a teal paint job. It's real nice, a brand new one though. No, it's like
I'm sorry,
legitimately,
that was an office reference.
I know.
Continue.
But he does okay. But what he did is he dropped off a bunch of displays. Back when he got started out, he just kind of ordered these from Etsy, and they're all just like pine. There's like nail holes everywhere where the guy just used a brad nailer to attach everything, and like the whole thing's held with like 2 screws for the swivel. And I'm like, okay, this is gonna be, first of all, so easy to duplicate and so easy to make better. So he basically just needs newer versions done of it that fit a little better for the product he's trying to sell. So it's really cool because I'll get to make a bunch of display stand stuff that I can probably mass produce on a CNC or even just out of poplar or whatever, or pine, and get it on Etsy and sell it, and maybe use some of it for my own shop. So it's pretty cool. So we've got a couple of ideas. We're going to do that. And fun story. I'm working the other day and I'm hearing, I'm alone in a house. Binks is sleeping, so I know it's not her. I'm hearing clawing around the house. I'm like, what is happening? It sounds like it's upstairs. And then it sounds like it's coming from just outside my screen door. I walk over to the screen door. Better. I walk over to the screen door, and a section of shingles, like 2.5 foot wide, falls off my roof.
Hot shingles.
Like right in front of where I was about to step out onto the deck.
How'd you fix it?
Did
you nail this?
No, I didn't touch it because the sun made it really hot, and you don't want to nail hot shingles
in your area, though.
In your area, no, yeah. So before I nailed hot shingles in my area,
so stupid.
Well, I think we got a show title.
We already made roofer jokes, I think, right?
Yeah, I don't know. So then I run out with a pair of binoculars to look at my roof and to see if like there's a section missing, and there isn't on the side I'm looking at. There's a turkey vulture on my roof. I guess it was just like it found a loose section. It was just like effing with it,
just ripping shingles off.
So then I run around to the other side of the house and I go, oh, there's a loose shingle on a roof.
We're having turkey vulture for dinner.
And I'm missing like shingles in a spot.
FEMA.
Basically, here's the moral of the story. Or not moral of the story, but the punchline is
the end of it.
I need a new roof. Which anyone that's gotten a new roof at some point knows the pain.
I have. It's a nightmare.
It's gonna be expensive. So we're gonna see if we can just do a patch. Next week. I got a bunch lined up. So, but like the number starts with a 1, and then a number, and then a comma, and then 3 more numbers. It's only
in the teens.
No, like 10. Yeah, teens. We don't. Oh man, dude,
mine was $32,000 for when my roof had to get done.
What?
Pro tip:
the Tudor style home. Did you guys ever go to that house?
But Mike lived in Diamond County. Okay.
That was 32 grand. It was like super steep though. It was like a Tudor style home.
Pro tip: if you live in the Midwest, nobody pays for their roof. You wait for a hailstorm, and then you get it replaced by the insurance company.
Pro tip: we had a windstorm take off like a handful of shingles, and the insurance replaced the entire roof.
Yeah, if you just think that there might be roof damage, you have your insurance company come and check it out.
Right.
Actually, maybe I should reach out to my insurance. Like, yo, birds damaged my roof.
Yes, absolutely.
Daniel Dunlap.
100%. You make a claim on your insurance. Yes.
Like, this isn't even like this. Okay. This is like a legitimate claim. I didn't even think about that.
Yes.
Of course it's a claim. This is what.
No, I literally had like turkey vultures on my roof.
Are literally attacking your home.
They're attacking your freedom.
You know your broker?
They're trying to take away your guns. They're trying to take away your freedom of speech.
Do you know your broker? Do you know your insurance broker? Because this is the perfect time to be like, just message and be like, yo,
it's a very small firm.
Are attacking my roof.
New Jersey manufacturers.
Yes, 100%. Call your insurance company. Make a claim. 100%. I mean, worst case scenario, they say, no, we don't cover this.
I'm so glad I brought up the story. I thought it was just like a time filler, but I kind of was expecting, anytime I bring up some like homeowner stuff on a podcast, I get ones of messages, like multiples of messages where people are like, hey, try this, or have you tried this, or do this, or when I had the problem. And it's actually very helpful. So I appreciate what anyone reaches out. I'm going to call my insurance tomorrow and find out. Yes. But anyways, aside from that, I am happy to get these silly ice climbing things out of the shop. And Mike, the reason I was grilling you about the India ink is because I have just tons of like small offcuts that are under 2 feet. and kind of thinner. And I'm trying to utilize them for a bunch of plant stands because we have a problem. We just keep buying plants. And I wanted to try India ink, but I wanted to try different finishes over it and see.
I recommend water with plants and not India ink.
Right. Yeah.
Any top coat's going to do good. Like any clear top coat's going to do well over India ink.
Well, I've always either sprayed shellac, applied a shellac coat
Lacquer.
or sprayed lacquer over it. But I've never tried Rubio over it. And that's why I asked, because you did black on the base.
No, I don't think you
if
can.
It would work. Because shellac is alcohol.
No, I don't think you can. No, I think the shellac.
Wait, what do you dissolve shellac?
I say we try it and see what happens.
Alcohol, well, it's shellac, but it's the engine that delivers it is alcohol. Yeah, that's how shellac is. Shellac is delivered with it's an alcohol based finish.
So once
I don't know that that's the issue though, because you're leaving behind. I think the shellac is gonna. So Rubio wants to bond to the grain, and I don't think the shellac will let it. So I don't know though.
Honestly, I'm gonna be doing a small scale projects.
AWP test.
I'm gonna test it.
AWP test.
Yeah, we're gonna do a couple cycles of testing.
You gotta take an AWP test.
We're gonna do multiple test cycles, testicles.
We'll be giving those out at WorkbenchCon. Come find us.
So, yeah, awesome, cool. So I'm gonna try that out. That's been my week. Not a lot of action. Let's go to questions because I'm in an answering mood.
This soon. All right. Let's go.
Before we go to questions, I'm sorry.
Nice, Mike. Nice.
No, keep going.
Nice.
Before we go to questions.
What, Dan? What are you even laughing at?
I don't know. I wanted to bring up something that we kind of didn't bring up before.
Thank you.
A maker, gosh, the words are hard. A giant in the maker community, the woodworking community, lost his shop to a fire last night or 2 nights before. So a lot of people have been posting GoFundMe's for him. Andy Birkley, if you don't know who I'm talking about, go check him out. Andy_Birkley on IG. It would be cool if we could all like rally around this and help him out. That's all.
Yeah. And we'll include the GoFundMe fund link in our show notes. So make sure to check those out.
Yeah. Sorry to bring down the podcast. I just wanted to get that in there.
You didn't? No, this is great. Let's get him some help for sure. As someone in the community who lost that'd be absolutely devastating to lose all that.
Absolutely devastating. It's how he provides for his family. It's his full-time job. So yeah.
Thanks for bringing that up, Dan.
Continue.
Yeah, Dan. And then put his link to his Instagrams, his OnlyFans, all the stuff.
I think he's got an OnlyFans.
Yeah, anyway,
speak.
Everyone who doesn't. I mean,
his Go OnlyFans.
Onlyfans.com/.
No, it's Go OnlyFans.
This first question. This first question.
Or GoFans
is from Braden with Little Bug Wood Goods and stuff.
Woodco.
Hey guys, it's Braden with Little Bug. I'm really excited. I thought long and hard about today's question, and I think that this is one that I couldn't find in any previous episodes of the podcast. And I am just so excited because I don't think that Mike is going to roll his eyes at this one.
Yep, yeah.
You're wrong.
Actually, that's a lie. He 100% will. All right. Tonight's question is, who do you think would win in a woodworking shootout? Tim the Toolman Allen or Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec? Hope you guys have a great night. See ya.
Let me just correct this real fast because this is really bothering me. It's Tim the Toolman Taylor. Tim Allen is the actor that portrays him in Ron Swanson. Obviously, Ron Swanson wins.
And on the same note, it's Ron the Ron Man Swanson.
Whatever. Ron Swanson wins. I mean, this is no argument. There's no argument. You can't argue that. Can you?
Are we talking woodworking or love making?
It's Ron Swanson.
Because he wins both.
Ron Swanson is the winner.
Period.
Yeah.
Period. There's no argument.
I'm with you.
Ron Swanson wins.
I stand with Dan.
Different generation.
Yeah, hashtag
Next
I stand
question,
with Dan.
please.
Alan, no mustache. I rest my case.
No beard even.
First of all, no mustache. Second of all, I'm done. That's it.
End of list.
Also, Ron Swanson.
Number 3,
cocaine
see number
violations. 1. Okay, the next question is from Brady.
What's up, guys? Brady Nelson from BJM Design. Happy to share I am going full-time next month, thanks to lots of inspiration from yourselves, especially my coffee, so appreciate that. Question today. I am moving into a 1,500 square foot shop. It's got 12-foot ceilings, and I want to build a permanent spray booth and also use that spray booth for pouring epoxy and then being able to keep charging on the rest of my projects without worrying about dust. So I am, obviously I know how to build a room, no worries, but how would you guys ventilate that? And how would you go about that process? I've got one window that will be open to the outside in that room, but it's in Montana, so climate, outside, inside is a consideration. It will be fully insulated building with heating and cooling, but just wondering how you would go about ventilating that. Would you, use crack the window to bring fresh air in and have a vent going out? Just curious how y'all would go about that. Cheers.
Michael?
I would like to tell you something that I learned when I was doing my spray booth. I still haven't set mine up. I didn't know this was a thing, but you need to buy an explosion-proof fan because they're a thing. Basically, they use what? No, finishes explode though. If you're spraying solvent-based finishes, they will combust in the wrong type of ventilation fan.
Space.
In an enclosed space. So you want to get an explosion-proof fan, which I bought one. I haven't wired it yet. But yeah, you're going to be dealing with cold air, so you're going to have to figure out how to deal with that. I mean, I don't know what you're going to be spraying. I know that most epoxies now are kind of pretty low VOC, especially compared to like spray finishes. You're going to be you can probably just open a door and be fine. But I'll tell you what, the stuff I was spraying today, if I was in an enclosed space, I would probably have passed out. I mean, even with my PPE on, like a good like VOC, like organic compound mask, I probably would have passed out with about 5 minutes. So that stuff gets gnarly, and you got to have an explosion proof fan. So that's the one thing I'd say. And you're just gonna have to deal with it. Like, that's just part of spraying. If you're going to be in an enclosed space, you need to be able to deal with it. I mean, it's going to be cold in Montana. You're gonna have to figure out how to like turn on your ventilation only when you're spraying and then shut it down and close that room, because then you need to warm it back up. Otherwise your finishes will get too cold. So anyway, anyone got anything else, Dan?
I mean, I would spray the finish and leave the ventilation on for like a minute or two after, just so you can get
you're probably right.
The VOCs out after. I don't have a spray booth like Mike. However, I would look into look at the what you're spraying, and is it heavier than air or is it lighter than air? Because if it's heavier than air, I would want a ventilation vent. I would want ventilation like on the lower part of the room, because that stuff is going to fall like to the ground. It's going to be on the lower level and all the heat's going to be up top. So I would put the ventilation on like the lower part of the wall. If it's lighter than air, I would, obviously put it up towards the top of the room somewhere. So yeah, sure. I think that's something you got to look at as well. I like Mike's idea about using a ventilation or explosion-proof ventilation fan. I think that's a very good point. I don't have a spray booth, so whenever I spray, I open my garage doors, and I'm open to the elements. So it's not a factor for me. But if you are spraying high VOC caustic finishes in an enclosed area, for the love of God, have some sort of explosion-proof fan or some sort of like ventilation. You need something. Pete, do you want to add anything to this, please?
One thing I'll add is well, first of all, if you're trying to do like a spray room or epoxy room, you probably don't. Some people like to just strap a filter on a fan and circulate the air in the room. You don't want to be circulating the air, because if there's any dust in there or anything,
no, because those filters. I assume you're talking about putting a filter like on a box fan.
But there are
that's not going to filter out all the particulates. It's not
going to do it. You have to get this stuff outside or run it through I don't even know if a charcoal filter will do, but like a heavy duty filter. I think what you need to do is, when you're getting into the shop, whatever heating situation or cooling, especially heating, I'm assuming, because Montana winter is probably the worst time to be in that shop. You need to just be dumping that air outside. There's no way, some people have it where it like runs through a filter back into their shop, and then the air from their shop comes in. I think the air needs to be dumped outside. You shouldn't be putting that back into your shop. and just kind of
get rid of it and get new air. 100%.
Exactly.
It's 100% right.
But I would say that definitely set up some kind of filtration coming in from the main shop into your spray room so that you're getting warm air coming in from that, and it's not some kind of filter you're pulling cold air from the outside for some reason. One person I would reach out to maybe is Two Moose Design Jeff. They have a separate room, and ask him about, because they built a separate room just for spraying and epoxy, and ask him what he would do differently now, because he's been doing spraying in there for a while, and just see how he's been handling it.
I would even go as far as like calling a local HVAC person, somebody who is knowledgeable in this, and telling them your situation and asking if they have any tips for you.
Just the tips. All right, the next question is from Josh Friedrich from 507 Woodworks.
Hey guys, so last week's WorkbenchCon conversation has got me wondering, what event do you guys like more, Maker Camp or WorkbenchCon? I probably won't be making it to either this year. There's a slight hope for Maker Camp, but I'm just curious, what would you rather spend your money on and time? Anyways, hopefully I didn't get you in legal trouble with WorkbenchCon, being that you guys have that coupon code for $50 off using code AWP.
Yes.
I think that's it. Anyways, if you do need lawyer representation, I also just would like to let you know that I anal. Good day.
It's okay. We have Cow Dog on speed dial.
What's I mean, Dan, I want to hear your opinion here first.
Well, I was telling Pete when we were in the pre-show, it really depends. My answer depends on the time of year, actually. If you catch me in the fall when we're closer to Maker Camp,
me outside.
Catch me outside.
If you cash me outside, you know that girl makes millions of dollars every year. That's another.
Of course she does.
Yeah.
Everyone makes millions of dollars but me.
Anyway,
everyone. It's so frustrating.
It depends on the time of year. If you ask me this question in the fall, my answer is going to be Maker Camp, just because I have Maker Camp on the brain. I'm just like inundated by Maker Camp things, and it's just that time of year.
The only reason Dan goes is for the
Dan's
leads.
driven by FOMO.
I really am. I really am. I'm 100% driven by FOMO. That's the only reason I started going to WorkbenchCon. I had no reason to be there. I went there for FOMO only, and I continue to do that. Right now, we're really close to WorkbenchCon. We're less than a month out. I feel like maybe a little bit more than a month. So my mind is on Maker Camp, and right now my answer would be, my mind is on WorkbenchCon. So right now my answer would be WorkbenchCon, just because I'm excited about it, and I think they both bring different things to the table. Although they're very similar, they both bring two different things to the table. WorkbenchCon is it's content creator centric. You know, it's you know,
You go there to get hyped.
Yeah, you go there to get hyped a little bit, and you go there to maybe make some brand relationships and learn how to grow your business as a content creator. Whereas Maker Camp is more hands-on centric. You go there to learn stuff, learn a new skill, get inspiration from other people that do other things. So while they're kind of the same in the same realm, they're different in their tactics or whatever. Yeah. So it really depends on the time of year for me. So I bottom line is I can't give you a good answer, or an answer that you would probably like.
So Mike was just housing his dinner, but me and Dan actually got into a conversation about this. I love both of them.
Oh, I love them both.
I love
100%.
both of the events. If I this time of the year when like traffic for sales starts going down, whatever, I now know I need WorkbenchCon because I get hyped. Last year I came back from WorkbenchCon on fire, which was really hard to get through security. But once I got off the plane, it was great. I hit the ground running, and it really does get you hyped. And yes, there's a lot of hanging out, and most of the hype came from the hangouts, talking to people. The classes were great, but like just talking to everyone there and getting inspired and hearing how people are killing it. Awesome. Maker Camp is the winner for me right now, because that's where I go to just have fun and relax. I don't even go with any like specific, like, I want to make this thing, I want to go welding or forging metal or whatever, I just go and I'm so loosey goosey. There's no obligation. This is my specific rule. I refuse to be part of the maker swap, just because I want to go there with purely zero responsibility for once, for like some event, and just like go and enjoy it. And this last year we got a small house that's a secret. You'll never know where it is. It was out of state. Don't worry about it.
It's in Pennsylvania.
And it was a blast. Like, we stayed there for a couple of days. We're really close to the location. It made the stay even better than the year before, because we literally just drove from Jersey and back, like Keith did. Keith did that every day. Crazy man. But the main thing is cost. A lot of people talk about cost, and really at the end of the day, the cost isn't that far off. When you're going to WorkbenchCon, it's 2 G's. It's straight up 2 G's and then some, because you got a hotel, flight.
Unless you share a room with somebody.
Unless you
can
share a
save
room,
little
yes,
money.
you could save a little money. And then ticket, obviously, we all know ticket's like $600 minus 50 if you use code AWP. If you're going to WorkbenchCon, like, oh, yeah, ticket's only 200 and it's hands-on for the whole like 3 days. Yes, but you're flying out of state. If you are flying out of state, you need to then get a ride or rent a car or get a cab or Uber or whatever from the airport. It's like 45 minutes away from the airport. I think it's the
Albany airport.
Albany airport, yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you're going to LaGuardia or JFK or whatever, like, forget it. You basically have to rent a car. Then you need a place to stay. It's cheaper, but you're probably staying a little longer, maybe, or whatever, or maybe you're sharing with someone. But still, there's a cost there. So it's really like you're talking $2,000 versus $1,500. Like, it's still up there. So I don't think it's
Neither
really
is cheap.
Scale. Neither one is cheap, because this is like, that's one thing people don't realize about Maker Camp. It's awesome. It's so far out of the, like, off the beaten path. It's in the middle of nowhere.
There's no cell phone signal.
There's no cell phone service. You basically get Wi-Fi at like 1 tent at the location,
and everybody's there.
Everybody's there. So my thing is WorkbenchCon, but know that it is the less luxurious and more tedious part.
You mean Maker Camp?
Of Maker Camp. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah,
Maker Camp.
I did the same thing.
Yeah, but it's more tedious. Mike, what are your thoughts on it? I'd love to hear it.
I feel like WorkbenchCon, I'm more at work than at an event where I'm kind of getting away. So I feel like I have to be on. I have to be Mike Coffee of Coffee Custom Builds. I feel like I have to do brand related things and different things, which isn't bad. I enjoy making content, so I like doing it. I think like
Maker Camp, you can do karaoke and just be yourself.
Yeah, you could just regulate.
I feel like I could just be. I feel like I have to be on more at WorkbenchCon, I guess. But I mean, that might just be something I've self-imposed. But it feels more like I'm at work. It feels more like I'm doing stories and creating content. It feels more in the vein of that, even though I'm not. It feels more in the vein of that. However, I really like WorkbenchCon a lot. It's really great experience. And like, I was kind of like coming over through the fall. I was like, I'm not really sure I even want to go to WorkbenchCon this year. But the social networking side of WorkbenchCon is truly the best part of it. It's so good. There's that time at the hotel lobby and going out to restaurants and bars with people. It's just so good. So I love WorkbenchCon. It's great. But I like Makers Camp more. I think Makers Camp is improperly sold as like a fun time at your friend's place because, like Pete said, it's very expensive. There is zero accommodations that are worth anything there for how much money you're spending. The food is fine. The drinks are fine. The places you can stay are negligible. Like, there's nowhere. We had to rent a home, which was great. That's the best solution for sure. But it feels that Dan said there's no self-service. There isn't self-service, but I think it's a good thing. Honestly, it's nice to kind of disconnect for that period of time. It really is, like, for me, it's not like a negative. It would be nice to have the cell phone service, but when you're being forced off your phone with a group of people who are on their phones all the time, it's kind of nice. You get to just kind of talk and be around people. And it feels a bit more, it feels so in content, you have to kind of like be this person in social media. At Maker Camp, it doesn't feel like you have to be that.
It really does level the
It feels like
field.
you can just kind of be yourself. yeah, it kind of is just like chill. So
When everyone was freezing their butt
I
off
really like
around a fire, it like felt very like
Yeah.
it's just like we're all just here tight up against this fire, trying to stay warm and
yeah, it's
having a good time.
it's solid. Like it's a great time, and I really enjoy it. But I do like make WorkbenchCon a lot. It's fantastic. I'm really excited about WorkbenchCon, but that's my opinion on that. So, is that Josh? Yeah. This next question is from Malcolm. He's in something.
Definitely
Hey
not
guys,
the middle.
it's Malcolm in the mid. You know what? No, I'm not doing that this week. Hey guys, it's Malcolm with Boston of Woodworks, and this week I don't have a question, just a quick compliment. I have started listening to the early episodes when you began the podcast in early 2020, and I'm on episode 13 or so right now. I just wanted to say one of the things that stuck out to me is how much you've worked on your format. Even back then, every episode you were trying something new, you were experimenting with different stuff, you were getting better every time. And I think it really paid off because today I feel like you have one of the best formats of any podcast I've ever listened to.
Means so much.
So just wanted to say I appreciate what you do. Thanks a lot. I'm sure you hear this kind of stuff all the time, but I do appreciate AWP and keep crushing it, guys.
Malcolm, thank you for calling in.
I really
I'm not
appreciate
making
that.
a joke about being in the middle of Dan's mom this week because, well, we talked it over and she let me know that she really doesn't like it when I put her business in the street like that. So sorry, Dan's mom. My bad.
Malcolm, I really appreciate the fact that you called in. I really do.
Dorothy Dunlap is a saint.
And I appreciate the fact that you're going back and listening to older episode. I really can't wait till you get to the middle episodes because I feel like that's where we really hit our stride right there in the middle.
Yeah. Missing thumbnail was our peak. It's the name of the episode.
Anyway.
But we appreciate that. I think we took a lot of pride and care into like right into episode 1 and we're still trying to figure out what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean it needs to be ever evolving a bit.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like we're still kind of evolving a little bit. I mean, you can't become stagnant too much.
Yeah, our format's pretty much the same for the last for a while for sure in terms of the format, but like what is actually happening is
entirely next week. We're gonna switch it
next
all
week.
up.
I did a dating show
I
this
won't
week.
be here next week. Boom.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, Mike. That was a side.
Yeah, I mean, this works. It's kind of like if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of a thing. But like we tried to like mix it up a little bit. I mean, we started mentioning all our patrons, our VIP patrons. You know, we're trying to make a big focus on that. I think that might have been born of kind of not really being super happy with how the last sponsorship went. We really wanted to double down on the patrons and how much you guys mean to us. The patrons mean a lot.
We
I mean,
much
we really
rather
would like
have the patrons than the sponsors.
Yeah, we'd rather
long-term
have that. I mean, we're not making a ton of money on this thing. We're just not like it's honestly like a lot of times I'm like, God, I really have to like,
we're losing money on this.
Is
guys.
this something
Everyone, you all need to
do?
know we're losing money on this. Our hourly wage is like $12.
I lose money on this because every Thursday I have to go buy booze.
Same.
So
it's just like one of those things where it's like I have such little time. And it's like, man, can I still, we just love doing it.
We love it.
It's something we love doing. So it's really hard to like actually give up. On paper, it makes no sense to keep doing, but in our hearts, it's so stupid.
That's where
we
it
have to do it. Yeah.
In my heart of hearts. Sorry.
This next question's from Thomas. I don't understand a word he's saying.
Hey, I just met you. This is crazy. But here's my
Voicemail.
so call me.
The French.
Hey guys, so I usually ask questions about woodworking, but today I'd like to know if you had to listen to only one music ever. Nah, just kidding. Alright, I want to talk about overdoing or overbuilding. I just finished making my air scrubber as you recommended a few podcasts ago, and I went over spec. For my shop size, I needed, according to the French government recommendations, something between 500 meter cubes by hours to 800 meter cube hour of air circulation, circulation, sorry. If I convert it, it's roughly 300 CFM to 450 CFM. And I found and bought a second-hand fan that does 800 to 1200 CFM max. It's great because it cleans the air fast, but it's too loud to use while I'm shooting a video or to leave on all the time as I wanted to. Do you also tend to overdo things? Go too big in projects and doing so make it less efficient or harder to use? Do you have a method to stay in line with the specs? Alright, bye.
Pete, you want to translate all that?
Yeah, basically he got a he had his dust collector, but then he also got a dust scrubber. Thank you. I was trying to think of the name. And he's asking, is like, do you go too big for the project? Like, do you overkill the dust collection? And I honestly will say, for me personally, I 1000% absolutely overkill the dust collection. But the sad thing is, that's what you need to like really remain healthy in this if you're doing this long term. Because a lot of these, like if you have just a shop vac collecting dust, you're doing fine. Fine is not good for your lungs. It's fine. It's better than it just floating around in the air and going into your house and everything. Especially most of us are in garages connected to our house. I have 3 vacuums in my shop. They're all HEPA vacuums. I've paid more for each of those vacuums than I have for all of my vacuums up until the Dyson.
That's a weird flex.
In my house. A $300 something vacuum, like back in the day when I would look a price like that, like why would I ever need that? Oh, it has great collection. It starts my machine when it starts, and it has a HEPA filter. At the time, I didn't know what a HEPA filter was. Now my big dust collector has it. This one has it. The one in the ceiling actually doesn't have it, but actually does it have a HEPA filter? I forget. The air clean, the blower. I don't think it does. Does it?
Whatever.
The air clean, the air blower, the
Laguna one.
The Laguna one.
No, it doesn't.
No, that's not. I don't think that's a HEPA. That's just like a pass-through bag or whatever.
But that one catches a lot of the big stuff. But anytime the smaller and finer and more collected you can get those little particulates that are in the air, the better. Don't think it's overkill. Yes, I mean obviously you don't want to get like a P-Flex 3 for a 1-car garage. But get something that's appropriate and collection at the tool, and the amount of dust you can minimize. You can never have too much or too little. And one thing that honestly, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos lately, and a lot of people do a really good job of like when they're recording. And I know you're trying to get into more YouTube. They just record with whatever audio in the background. That audio is not even there. They have a voiceover over it. So you might not even hear like that faint little like background, like somebody running a table saw or whatever. Just mute it. Just mute that. Maybe there's music playing. Maybe their dust collector is running and it's really loud. Or drop the audio really low so you kind of hear that ASMR sound in the background. Some people like that. Either eliminate it and replace it with a voiceover, or just leave it in the background as like a low hum so people know machines are on. So, but Mike, I'd love to hear from you because you, not in a bad way, but overkill it with machines. You always like to have like the best one you can get because you're always scaling.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you're doing. I'm running a business out of my shop, and I have big things, and they're still not big enough. So, I mean, it's just a constant, like, scaling is constant battle, especially in furniture. That's why, Brady was like, I'm going full-time woodworking. I was like, don't do it. But like, it's so expensive. Like all these things are so expensive, but you have to go overkill because you don't know, you can't not be able to do the thing you need to do. Like you need to be able to do it. It's the very expensive fact about woodworking is that anytime you buy anything, you need to buy the biggest and most expensive one you can and
the
fit
buy
at
last
that
tool
time
fast first, right?
Yeah, like you need to do it as fast as you can. Like I'm looking at sliders now and I'm like, okay, I could, they're like $50,000+ for slider saws. Some of these slider saws are like,
what is that expensive in francs? Or what is the French dollar? Is that a franc?
I believe they use cakes.
Cakes. Baguettes, maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
All right.
But so you have to, like, you just have to. In my situation, I have to. Like, I'm like, there's some cases where I'm glad I didn't go as big as I could have in things, because sometimes things change. But for dust collection, here's the bottom line. Those things are keeping you from getting cancer. And I don't mean to be like a drama queen, but yeah, right. But I mean, they're helping you. I mean, they're a tool, but they're also a safety device.
Yeah.
So the more of that crud they can take out of the air, the better. So if you can move more air faster, do it. That's what you want. That's all that machine's job is to do. So when it comes to dust collection, in my opinion, spend the most money you can on that tool. That's one spot where you really need to go as high as you can with the money. So anyway, Dan.
Yeah, 100%. If you're going to spend money on safety devices like Mike talked about, overkill for sure. Future proof, as we like to say here on AWP.
Yeah.
Think about what you're going to be doing in the future and prepare for that. Don't think about what you need now. Think about what you're going to need 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road from now. So overkill will help that a little bit. Short and sweet.
Yep.
That's my answer.
Boom. The next question is from Justin Addy.
Hey guys, Justin, Calvin Customs. Question I have for you is I have a Onefinity Journeyman, and I use it a fair bit, but I really don't know how I can get the most use out of it as far as getting jobs and that sort of thing. So question would be, what type of marketing or anything like that would you suggest that I could put out there? I know probably go to some Etsy stuff, but I'm kind of looking at more of a local kind of deal, but I'm open to Etsy as well, I suppose. So that's my question. I appreciate it. Justin from the Man Army, signing off.
I'm gonna throw it to Dan first.
Why? It's
I'll
not
go
because
first, I
Pete
guess.
got up and left.
Yeah, Pete's just left the pod. He did
It's a weird way to
he
quit.
pointed to his eye, and then he did the have, and then he did the two, and then pointed to his butt. So I don't know what he's doing, but
I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. Social media sponsored ads, man. Show your product in use, sponsor a post, and keep it local. If you want to sell to local people, do it that way. And obviously, there are Facebook Marketplace ads. Hell, even you can do Craigslist. You don't have to go the Etsy route. Etsy's not for everybody. I understand that. Also craft fairs, man. Get out to craft fairs. Craft fairs are fairly cheap, and even if you don't sell any products there at the craft fair, take a bunch of business cards. People can see your work, and they may reach out in the future if you have information to give them, like a business card or a pamphlet or something. Pete, now that you're back, do you have any advice on selling locally?
Yes. Make friends with everyone. Literally, talk to every small business owner. The smaller the town, the better, actually, because you can really make one-on-one connections, and business owners talk to each other when someone, just because you're on their mind. Like, I go to the same liquor store every single day. It's the smallest one. It's literally a double wide trailer. They reopen. Within the first 2 weeks of opening, the owner that was there, Sam, I'm on first name basis with him. I know everyone's names when I walk in there. When I walk in there, they say my name before I even say theirs, which is probably a bad thing. But the thing is, it's a local place. So even if I go in once every 2 weeks, I see one employee once in a while. They just remember me because I have a conversation with all of them. And he now, at this point, he knows exactly what I do. And he's already I really got to think of how to, I want to try to incorporate he's telling me he wants to incorporate my work into stuff he sells there. That's the kind of relationship you want. You just want to start talking to people. And Mike does this all the time. Mike does it really well, and he does it on a much bigger level. But if you're trying to get local, make friends locally, do local craft fairs, talk to people around in your area, And there's nothing like a really, you want to stop people with your business card. I will say that.
Yeah.
I have literally broken necks with my business card when people, I just hand it to them, or they try to grab one and they keep doing the finger swipe, and I'm like, no, that's how thick the card is, because it's made of wood. It's literally melamine. It's melamine, but it lasers so well. I'll do them on a laser, and people will take them and start walking away and go, whoa, is this whatever? And then like they keep it. You're not going to lose that card. So like little things like that, they start remembering you. And if it's a local thing, pitch to everyone, just bring it up very naturally. Don't push it. Like, oh yeah, I do this, or I do that. Or, hey, I wanted to give you a little gift. Cause like, let's say you go to the same consignment or same store every single week, and you know the person that checks you out, just give them like a little gift for the holidays. They'll remember you. If you want to get local, don't worry about Etsy ads. Don't worry about Facebook. Don't worry about Facebook Marketplace. That's honestly, like Mike says, with Etsy, I will say like Facebook Marketplace.
No, it's trash.
One of the hardest places
just wanted
to
to
sell.
bring it up.
I won't say it's trash. I just think it should be right next to the recycling. So everyone wants to hit you with the, hey, there's my lower price. Can you take it or whatever? Like, it's non-negotiable, but people don't get that. It's a place where people are used to haggling. That's not the place you really want to be. Is it good? Yes. And a lot of people do really well.
Starting point.
But pitch it to everyone.
It's a place.
It's a place. Make sure all your neighbors know where you're at. Like Facebook Marketplace is fine. Nextdoor app is fine. A lot of those apps ring. Some of them have like social
People
media.
sell on Nextdoor app?
Dude, you have no idea. It's a thing. Yeah, there's a whole
Really?
sale section there.
Okay.
But like all of those are valid things, but one-on-one conversations, talking to people, making sure you're known in your community, you're gonna get business. Trust me.
Before he throws it to Mike, I want to add, this is not an overnight thing. This takes
No, it is not.
work.
Months.
Yes.
I've been in my neighborhood for a year and a
It's-
half. I just moved and I'm starting to see benefits now, a year and a half later.
Michael.
Sorry. Mikhail.
Yeah, it's just a lot of work. It's networking, getting your name out there, talking to people, getting to know people. It's just nonstop. You're like just constantly. You have to be able to sell stuff. You have to.
You're
No
not
one
just the
talks
maker,
about
you're the
that enough in
salesman.
woodworking. Yeah, I mean, you have to. You're the marketing department. You have to do all of it. It's a nightmare. It's not a nightmare. I actually like doing it. It's fun. And that's part of it. You actually need to enjoy it too. It's very helpful to actually enjoy that part. The customer interaction, I really do enjoy. I like making customers happy, bottom line. So, and it makes business go well for me. So, it's a lot of work, dude. You're just gonna have to you're gonna have to put your feet to the pavement and do a lot of work. It's the bottom line. Get out there and meet people, shake babies and kiss hands or whatever.
Exactly. Definitely want to do the first one.
Lick lollipops.
Yeah. You need to I think I'm lagging quite bad.
A little bit.
So I'm gonna throw it to Pete. To do the outro here because we're basically done. Oh, wait, real quick programming note. I will not be here next week. The boys are gonna surprise you with a new and fulfilling guest that you've never heard from before on here.
No pressure. And that just eliminated most of our
No
friends.
pressure.
Okay,
And?
so I guess I'm doing the outro.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining
Yeah.
us. Make
No,
sure
sorry.
it's all good. No, you're good. Make sure if you are looking to go to WorkbenchCon, use code AWP. If you have any questions about it, a lot of you have been reaching out to us, asking questions, see if it's really worth it. The last minute, the FOMO is getting to you guys. It like despite the cost
It's
or
real.
whatever, it's real. It's great. We really enjoy it, and we cannot wait to meet some of you guys. Not all of you. You know who you are.
And you know what
Okay,
you
we
did.
love all of you, but we can't wait to see you all there. It's a great time. If you do get a ticket, use code AWP, and when you're booking your room, use code AWP for exactly the same cost. There you go.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
$0 off.
$0 off, but we'll know you're thinking of us. And huge thank you to our top tier patrons. You guys keep us go. All of our patrons, you guys keep us going and can help us continue doing the show despite not having a sponsor. We're very excited to announce our guest for next week. We will do that on social media very last minute because Dan and I don't plan.
No.
And with that, thank you for listening. We
Thank you.
love that you've been here. Some of you through since the beginning. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
I love you. That's amazing.
Who hurt you?
Who hurt you? But also, thank you.
Was it Dan?
Was it Dan? And but we get it.
blame the
because
chiladas.
we've also been here since the beginning, and we know the pain, and we love you all. We'll see you all next week.
And we're starting a class action lawsuit against Dan. Bye.
Bye. What? Money.
I love you some of the time.
Some of the bye.
Bye.